Sorry guys, my batteries went dead. Okay, so I think well, I guess I was saying I was saying that my friend, I was explaining to my friend, or I what was I saying? I was explaining either to my, I was saying something that I was explaining to my friend, or I was making a, I was explaining a scenario. So what I remember saying is that the scenario was, it doesn't matter if when God blesses you with finances to start a business, and although you are tithing and giving offerings, but you refuse to involve God in your business, it doesn't mean that God is going to bless you, because what you're doing is just a show for people at church and your friends and your family, and in front of God, as if though God doesn't know the condition of the heart when He does, right? So I explained all of this to my friend. You know, I told my friend, I said, you're you're making a big mistake, because, you know, it just doesn't make any sense for you to ask God for something that you have been so desperate for. You're practically, you know, begging God to please change your circumstances. And then, not that you need to beg God. Guys, you don't need to beg God. We don't need to beg God for things. But I was like, this was like, I could tell this is how desperate my friend was. He was practically begging God to change his circumstances. And so I told my friend, I said, you know, you asked God for something, now He's given it to you, and now you've turned your back on Him. And believe me, I told him, you are going to suffer for it. You're going to suffer for it. And as many times as I explained this to my friend, because you see, I was desperate for my friend to make the right decision so that he would not get himself into a mess where he was now suffering for it. But he wouldn't listen. He wouldn't listen. You know, and I was just telling him, please, just do the right thing. And just because you don't feel it's going to work out that way, remember, it was God that just answered your prayer to help you start a business. He just did this. I mean, you know, it's not like, unless you're asking God, nothing's going to happen. God only answers, well, God doesn't only answer when you're asking, because He does answer the cries of your heart, even if you are not directly asking Him. He works like that. I've had that happen to me my entire life. I've always been blessed with things that I didn't even ask for. And when I get them, I'm like, oh, Father God, thank you so much. I had no idea you were thinking about me like that. He always is, but guys, you know how we are. We forget that God is always thinking about us like that. We are always on His mind. He's always looking out for our best interest. So I told my friend, you know, now is your opportunity. Now don't blow it. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. And my friend was, you know, continuing to explain to me that it's just not something that he wants to do, and he wants to do things, you know, this way and this way and this way or whatever. So basically, he was saying that he wants to go his own way. And guys, you know what happens when we go our own way? We mess up. We think we know better than God. So guys, I just, my hands were up in the air, like wondering, what else am I going to say to this person to make him understand? My arms were in the air, like, what am I going to do now? My friend has refused, you know, this advice that I'm giving him that will help him to go on the right track concerning his business, but he won't listen to me. So that's what happened, guys. He didn't listen to me, and at the very last thing, at the very end of our conversation, the very last thing I said to him, all right, you have made your decision, and ultimately the choice is up to you as to what you want to do with this money that you've just received. And he said, okay, thanks. So then that was the last time that, you know, that I chatted with him. And then that was like in May. And then 1 week later, my friend sends me an email telling me that his cell phone was stolen. Okay? His cell phone was stolen, so I said to myself, I'm thinking, okay, that is the first incident that has just taken place since he turned his back on God, right after he received a blessing to start a business. That's the first thing. So then I told my friend, I said, look, what you need to do is use somebody else's phone to contact your cell phone, the people that are providing him the services, and explain it to them what happened so that they will deactivate the phone so that nobody else can use it. And he didn't know that he could do that. So I told him to do that, and so he did that. And it's okay, so he did that, and so that's good. So now he doesn't have a phone. Okay? So but he still has the finances to, to start the business. That was, it happened 1 week later that his phone was stolen. So anyway, after I told him what to do with, to protect his phone, he went and did that. And then after that, I didn't hear from him again until, so this was, I didn't hear from him again until 2 days ago. So 1 week after he lost his phone was stolen, which was still in May, I didn't hear from him again until 2 days ago. And he emailed me and he told me, actually, you know what happened, guys? 3 days ago, suddenly God put a picture of my friend in my brain. And I'm like, oh, okay, I know what that means. I have to pray for him. But guys, I got distracted because I've been doing a lot of work and I completely forgot to pray for him. Okay, so 3 days ago, God gave me a photo of my friend in my head, and I was supposed to pray for him, but I forgot. And then 2 days ago, which was yesterday, my friend emailed me, and I said, hey, I meant to contact you because God told me, he showed me a picture of you, but I'm so sorry, I forgot to contact you. I said, are you okay? And he said, Nancy, no, everything is not okay. I'm doing terribly. And so I asked him, what happened? So this is what happened. There's a lot that he told me, so I'm going to try and summarize it, okay? He was working, up until November, he was working in another city, okay? He was working outside of the city that he normally lives in. He was working for this company. The contract ran out. So in November, he had to leave. They did not renew his contract. So he had to leave and go back to his other city. He didn't have a place to stay, so he said that a relative offered him a place to stay in the home that he was renting. So my friend went to his uncle's home that he was renting, and he's been there since November. So now my friend tells me that this past week, when he was at church, after he came home from church, everything, all of his belongings were stolen. Everything is gone. All of his belongings were stolen, and it happened while he was at church. All right? And I said to my friend, wow, this is crazy. This is crazy. And my friend also told me that the person who stole his things was his relative, the one who had offered him a place to stay. The one who had offered him a place to stay was the one who stole his things. And I asked my friend, I said, okay, look, were you in this house when your phone was stolen? And he said, yes, it was. So guys, in my mind, 1 + 1 is 2. Okay, I think it was the relative who stole his phone. So then I asked my friend, okay, so what is going on now with you? What's happening? And he says that he's living in this home. There are many other people living in this home. And my friend, since he does not have an income, he is doing a lot of house chores and doing all kinds of things, as payment in exchange for him to stay there and for him to get food. He is doing a lot of chores. Like practically everybody's chores, he is doing them. Okay, so, and guys, there are a lot of people in this place. There's not just 7, there's not 8. There's well above that number in this place. So he is doing laundry, he is doing house chores, he is doing everything for all of these people because he does not have an income. Right? That's a very tough life. So then I asked my friend, I said, look, okay, what else is going on there? Like, what's happening? Like, what's happening with your uncle? And my friend said that his uncle stole his ATM card, his bank card, right? But the good thing is that my friend still has, because I had asked my friend, like, at some point in our conversation, I had asked him, what happened to the money that I gave you? Because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh no, he blew the whole thing on rent. So I asked him, what happened with the money that I gave you? And he said, well, I had to give half of the money to my uncle because the owner of the house was going to kick us out. So I had to give half of the money to my uncle, and my uncle paid the rent. Okay, so then I said, this is crazy. That's crazy. You used your money to pay rent to your uncle? This is crazy. And my friend said that his uncle, this was the relative, his uncle was going to pay him back. But the uncle refused and kicked him out. The uncle refused to pay my friend back and kicked him out of the house that he is renting. So now my friend is lost everything. His uncle stole everything this past week, because it was this past week that he went. Today is Monday. Today's Monday. Is today Monday? Yeah, today's Monday. Oh, it was the week, the Sunday last that he lost all his things when he was at church. It was the Sunday, this past Sunday. Today is Monday, so this past Sunday, that's when he lost all his things. And then so my friend said to me, his uncle kicked him, stole all his things, kicked him out of the house. And now my friend, I'm sorry for confusing you, now my friend is living in the home that is filled with all those people. It has a large amount of tenants in there, and they're all occupying the same space. Okay, so my friend is living in a home away from the uncle that had kicked him out of the house where he was living. Now he's living in another house occupied by many, many, many people. And so it's these people that my friend is now doing chores for in exchange for rent, for living there and to get food. So I asked, so my friend also, I told my friend, look, this is what you need to do, okay? This is what you need to do. Well, first of all, I scolded my friend. I scolded him, but it wasn't harsh. It sounded harsh because of, I was laying down everything that I said, look, everything that you've just experienced were as a result of your poor choices. Because the money that I sent you was not for you to pay rent to your uncle. The money that I sent for you was for you to start a business. And you were supposed to have made the right decision by going home, going to your family's home, because that's where you would have had, that's where your success, or like your steps to starting your business without a problem and successfully, it would have started by going home. So my friend said, Nancy, you don't understand. My parents, my family lives 80 miles away in a small village. And the thing is, village life is really tough. It's hard. So you don't understand. And I said to my friend, look, excuses are the reason why you and me get ourselves into trouble. We cannot put excuses before us that's going to put boundaries. We cannot place excuses in front of us, because they're going to place boundaries to where we need to get going, to where we need to go. That's why we need to we have to make even tough decisions. We have to make tough decisions and carry them out so that it will help us to get to where we need to be. A tough decision is the first step that will take us to where we want to be eventually. And I said to my friend, you have no other choice because you're living in this house, you know, practically being a servant to all these other people. I'm sure they don't appreciate you, because how could people be so, have no compassion for a person who suddenly gets into a tough situation, and they are now going to take advantage of you by saying, okay, since you cannot provide any finances to pay the rent, we're going to allow you to stay here, but you can do all 100% of the chores for all of these tons of people in this house. What kind of people are those? They don't have any compassion. Instead of saying, you know what, life is hard for everybody, but we have to give you an opportunity. That entire household of all those people that he's living with should have said, hey guys, you know what? They should have had a meeting by themselves and said, look, so-and-so is having a really difficult time. We need to get together and help him in some way. I know that we are struggling too, but there is a way. Let's ask God to give us ideas to help him get him on his feet so that he can start generating an income. Let's maybe put together some money so that we're not able to give him the kind of money to start a business, but we can put together some money to help him in some way that will reach his goal, that will help him to reach his goal. But none of them, out of all those people, not one of them did that for my friend. Right? But that situation came about because of my friend's poor choices. So our poor choices always lead us up to situations that we do not want to be in. Very unpleasant, difficult, hurtful, painful situations. Consequences, guys. They're consequences of choices that we made, that we knew we should not have made prior. Okay, they're consequences of choices that we made that we knew we should not have made a while ago. So then I told my friend in the conversation said to me, okay, so look, my family is too far away. You don't understand. And then I said, look, do you really have a choice in the matter at this point? Is that the right answer? So my friend said, you know what? No, you're right. I really do need to get back home. And actually, it's the right thing what you said is the right thing, because I don't like what's happening to me right now. I don't like this situation. It's tough. So I said to my friend, also what you need to do is you need to remove from your life the worldly friends that you have been accustomed to hanging around. I said, go back home, clear up your mind, and then once you've cleared up your mind, you will be able to figure out what steps to take next. I said, ask God to give you ideas as to what are the steps that you have to take next after this giant mess that you've gotten yourself into. And I said, look, the first thing you need to do is to dedicate your life to God in a genuine fashion, because you have been very unfaithful to him. I said, the reason why you are in this big mess, the reason why all of this is happening to you right now is because you turned your back on God the moment you received that blessing. I said, do you remember the words that you said? You said that you would think about dedicating your life to God, which meant I am not going to do it. I said, this is why you are in this mess. So then my friend got mad at me and he said, Nancy, don't blame me for the situation that I am in. I had to give my uncle the $50 for the rent. Otherwise, we would have gotten kicked out. I said to my friend, look, the reason why you are in this mess is because you refused the counsel that I gave you when I first sent you the funds. The money that you were sent came from God. You asked him a question, you asked him, Lord, please bless me with finances to start a business. He gave it to you, and then you betrayed him. So now you have to, when you betrayed him, you allowed the enemy to lead you down a path that you did not want to go. Now you are suffering the consequences of the betrayal you did to God. This is I said this is a terrible thing. But unfortunately, what's happening to you is because you chose to betray God. These are consequences of your choices. Nobody else is to blame. You have to look at yourself for what is happening to you right now. Okay, I said, now that you understand, how, why it's not a good thing to turn your back on God after He blesses you, now you have to make the right decision by going home, clearing up your mind, asking God to tell you what do I do next? I said He will show you pictures. He will give you ideas. He will tell you things. He will get you the information in any way that it will come. He will send you the information. But the first thing you need to do is to get rid of your worldly friends and dedicate your life in a genuine way to God, because you have been so unfaithful to Him. And then my friend said, well, Nancy, I've been trying. It's hard. I said, no, it's not hard. It's a decision. You make a decision to leave your worldly ways behind and surrender yourself to God. Okay, that's how life is. You're either in or you're either out. There is no trying. I said, you don't try, you do. Okay, and I said, if you want things to get better for you, you have to do. Make sure that you rededicate your life to God. Yeah, rededicate your life to God all over again, only in a genuine fashion, by removing worldly friends and getting right with Him, being faithful to Him, truly faithful to Him. Because I said, you haven't been doing that. Right? And I said, don't make up any excuses. And then my friend said, well, life will get better for me sometime. I said, no, life will get better for you the moment you make the decision to get right with God in the matter of your faithfulness to Him. Okay, stop making up excuses. So then I said to my friend, then my friend said, well, yeah, you're right. You're right. I need to go home and clear up my mind and ask God to show me. And I said, good, that's where it's going to start. And I also told my friend, because back in May when I had, I had helped him when I sent him the funds, I gave him some information. Like I sent him some, not information, I sent him a video of a lady in his city who became very, very, very successful just from starting a juice business. And all she started out was with $8. Okay, $8. And my friend, I sent my friend the video way back then. And I also, in the conversation, I explained to my friend, I said, look, you remember that video I sent you of that lady, okay, make with her juice business, remember her? I said, you need to follow her example. And then my friend said, well, Nancy, but you don't understand. Village life is hard. You can't just get successful living in a village. I said, look, you're making excuses again. You're not listening. You're not listening. If God blesses you with the finances to start a business, He will also bless you with the information that will help you to reach success, no matter what situation, no matter what location you're in. And I explained it to my friend. I said, look, since you did not want to take my advice about, being encouraged of the story of the lady in the video, I said, since you rejected the video, you did not care about how that lady became successful. You did not want that. You saw the video, but you didn't want to take her example, that people living in poverty can still rise to success no matter where they're living. I said, since you rejected the video, I was not able to then send you additional information that would have helped you to get to where you needed to be in the area of marketing and the production of your business and everything that is involved with gaining success in a business. You did not let me give you that information because you said no. You did not want it. So I couldn't help you. So the excuse of being in a village is, that doesn't work. Because if God can help a person in a village to gain success. Now, I'm referring to people that are in villages, because the lady in the video, I don't really remember, but I don't know. No, she's not living in a village. She's living in the main city, in Kampala, right? So, but I'm saying, like, even, I told my friend, I said, if God is going to bless you with the money to start a business, okay, he can even bless you right there in the village if you have to go back. Because if you make up your mind to dedicate your life to God, rededicate your life to God all over again, only in a genuine manner, in a genuine fashion, he will make sure that the doors will open for you, okay, to go down a path of success, even though you are in a village, because God can do all things. God says, all things are possible to them that believe. All things are possible to them that believe. So, this is what I told my friend. So, at some point in our conversation, he was not able to answer back because he is using a cell phone from somebody. He said his friend, maybe most likely somebody he's living in the house with. And a lot of the times he just gets cut off suddenly and he's not able to respond back to me because, the person that he's let him use the phone just suddenly took it away. You see how awful that is? I mean, nobody has any compassion for someone, even when they're trying to reach somebody who, they're trying to reach a friend or whomever, they're trying to talk to somebody, and then suddenly they come and take their phone back without even caring whether the conversation is complete. They don't even care if the person has received the kind of information that they are needing at that hour. So, guys, look, people are despicable. People are despicable, but unfortunately, this is the sort of thing that we come across when we are disloyal to God. We suffer consequences in a horrible way. Horrible consequences for our betrayal to God, for not being loyal to him, for not being faithful to him. So, the way I expressed myself to my friend, again, it sounded harsh, but my heart was not being harsh. I was just telling him the reality of what the consequences of why he was now, and I was telling him, why he was in the situation that he was in now, right? Because of, his poor choices. So, yeah, I asked God, I've been asking God since I found out about this to please just reveal it to him where he needs to go next, what steps he needs to take. But the important thing is, guys, hold on. The important thing is that he did say he's going to go back home. And before my video goes out, my friend told me that he is saving up the money to go back home, 80 miles away. And I said, where did you get the money to, how are you saving money? Where are you getting money to save up? And he says, well, he's doing odd jobs. So he's doing whatever he can to raise the money to go back home. So I will give you an update as to how my friend is doing, but I know that this is a big lesson. This is a really, really big lesson, guys. And I feel so bad. Okay, my camera's going to go out. It's 29 minutes. I feel bad for my friend, but this is what happens when we fail to honor God with the blessings he gives us. Okay, guys, so don't forget to subscribe to me. Look at at the bottom of the screen, should be on the right side, there's my photo there. Put your cursor on it and click on it to subscribe so that you won't miss any of my videos. You'll be notified, okay? So yeah, I will give you an update about my friend. Okay, guys, God bless you. See you later.